So good morning. This is going to be the first of my morning drive series. I think you could also apply most of the things that I'm going to say in some other areas to other fields if you're interested, but I'm going to focus mainly on technical careers that are trending. Some additional resources to help you out. So let's talk about how you can advance your career in tech and IT, most efficiently with thinking about your career goals, skills you want to acquire, and resources that are going to help you. If you notice this morning, it's raining. So, of course, I'm trying to be careful as well. Make sure you drive safe. So the first thing we're going to cover is an overview of IT career paths and what your options are with IT career paths. I'm going to talk a little bit about upskilling and what are some of the key thoughts around upskilling in IT. It's incredibly important. Continual growth. And very importantly, what are some common mistakes that you're going to make potentially when thinking about upskilling or presenting yourself with a resume? So the first area I want to talk about is cybersecurity in terms of areas that are in high demand. And of course, cybersecurity is tremendous demand because of the need for protection of networks and personal data on backbones of businesses and also educational facilities. Protecting organizations from cyber threats, roles which can help do penetration testing or securing networks and cybersecurity are going to continue to be in high demand over the next couple of years. Some entry-level ideas for roles are like security analyst. You want to make sure that you're getting some, a background in your current education around cybersecurity skills, such as penetration testing, like I mentioned before, and also just a knowledge of how and a knowledge of some of the best practices of how to secure a network, and also how some of these threats ultimately can be prevented. You're going to want to look into, what's ethical hacking and how you could get started with learning about ethical hacking and what's involved with, learning more about ethical hacking. You're going to want to learn about incident response, what are the best practices during incident response that can help support you in understanding the skills needed during a proper cybersecurity incident response. You're going to want to familiarize yourself with the NIST framework and also become familiar with resources available from our federal government to help you support with cybersecurity knowledge like CISA. There are a few certifications that you're going to want to know about, such as CEH, OSCP, and CISSP. And also recognize that, even though there are some industry certifications, that if you're working within a certification around networking or any other certification, you're going to see cybersecurity as a key part of any one of those certifications and knowledge. It's in such big demand that if you're doing a certification that does not somehow touch on cybersecurity, you want to make sure that you get some more background knowledge in it. The other area is cloud computing. Cloud computing's been in demand for a number of years now, since businesses, educational facilities, many people are now moving their, data off of local networks up to the cloud. So there's less on local servers, more being done in the cloud. So all the services that used to be done, on a local server are now moved to the cloud, and the cloud needs to be managed data. So you're going to want a background in managing cloud infrastructure and how to do it properly and effectively. Some of the roles are going to be cloud development engineer. Some of the roles are going to be a cloud architect or a DevOps engineer. You're going to notice that Amazon Web Services provides a wide range of certifications, and it's very basic entry-level certification, cloud practitioner. It's a great way to get started if you're just looking to get your feet wet. And they continue to provide advanced certifications to help you advance your career. And and there's continual support for utilizing Amazon Web Services support and certifications, even well into your industry career. So some of the key skills are definitely cloud architecture, virtualization of resources, and DevOps tools like Kubernetes. There's a lot of people willing to share their experiences working with DevOps, in different industries, and seeing how that's going to be. And I would encourage you to reach out to someone who works in the industry to get a better idea of what their role looks like. Always try to find a mentor in a field to help assist you with getting a start and understanding what types of skills are essential. But you also should consider beginning an entry-level certification like cloud practitioner. In terms of certification, we've talked a little bit about Amazon Web Services, value in those, talked a little bit about Amazon Web Services and the value of those. Really important. A big industry player. So Amazon offers Cloud Solutions Architect certification. And additionally, there's the Microsoft Azure certification, the Microsoft Azure Administrator certification. That's going to be Microsoft's version of managing cloud infrastructure through Azure. Now, another area that's been very popular for the past 10 years or so, and I remember years ago, IBM was very, in front of the technology. And for about the last 10 years, the topic of data science and data management is an incredibly great field to get into. And what you're doing here is with data science roles is you're in a position to analyze data and effectively review data within an organization using digital tools and technology to help support how data can best be used in an organization, whether it's from the curation of the data to the management of the data. Data science is an incredibly growing field all the time because the data is not stopping now that the technology is in place to create and manage and really have the data. So there's the roles like analyst, which are going to be the analysis of the data, both from a theoretical standpoint within an organization, and then there's also business data around intelligence data, which is basically performance metrics around data. It's a continually growing field. And there's a lot of crossover skills between programming and data science, such as learning of, Python and R programming in order to be able to analyze data effectively and efficiently. Machine learning has incredibly become a big part of managing data. Your ability to understand machine learning concepts and how data is being manipulated and created and processed through machine learning processes, very, very important. A base in statistical analysis, also very, very important. Some certifications to keep in mind are CAP, DAS, CPA, DAS, CA, and a certification for senior data scientist. Next area worth talking about is data science. Next area worth talking about is artificial intelligence and machine learning. And I think we're all very well aware that AI and machine learning is an incredibly, growing area, and jobs are changing very quickly when it comes to the use of AI within the job field and how AI and machine learning are going to impact business processes. There's a big need to update intelligence within systems utilizing AI. So there's roles like AI and machine learning researcher, so that organizations understand how that data is going to be used properly with the use of AI. Some of the areas of focus here are going to include deep learning and how machine learning impacts. The key concept here is a deep learning framework. Be sure to look into what TensorFlow is and get some training and understanding around TensorFlow. Also, learn about natural language processing and what natural language processing is, and how natural language processing can impact how data is manipulated and changed through the capturing of natural language. And data engineering. So how is data engineered and shifted and changed with the use of machine learning and AI? Some certifications to really consider here is doing a certification in TensorFlow and getting a really strong baseline knowledge in that piece of technology and manipulation of data. There's the Azure AI Engineer Certificate, which will give you an understanding of how to utilize AI, Microsoft Azure with AI and how to use it effectively with Azure products. Here I am. The Azure AI Engineer Certificate. Another huge area of development is going to be the area of software development. This is all about developing software and applications. This is going to include areas like software developer and front-end engineer. Programs related to software development is going to definitely be learning Java, Python, object-oriented languages that support software development, and understanding how to work with software design principles. For certifications, you're going to see the Oracle Java Developer certification out there, and also the Azure Developer certification, as well as just a wide range of micro courses to all support software development and programming, learning, and development. The next area is IT management. There's going to be a tremendous need for IT management skills and how IT management skills are incredibly important because it help you lead and manage a team of developers, lead and manage a team of people who work within an IT infrastructure, whether it's IT projects or as a Scrum Master, learning how to, best manage IT projects. One of the areas here is going to be agile management and risk management leadership. Some great certifications in this area is PMP, Project Manager Professional, and also a Scrum Master certification. Okay, so back at it, and obviously it's a little bit brighter. It's the end of the day. Back at it. It's the end of the day. Long day, but, a lot of tech learning. So the next thing I want to talk about is upskilling and how valuable that very particular skill is. Upskilling is going to be, if you're involved with IT or technology or any job or position that requires the use of technology, is going to be a consistent part of your personal learning plan or professional learning plan. Okay. So you have to really be prepared to have the mentality that you're going to be needing to learn new technology skills all the time, essentially. Adapting, but it's the nature of the beast when working in technology. So the first thing you want to do is definitely assess your skills. If you're looking for a position in cybersecurity, how familiar do you feel with the content? Have you worked with network security before? How familiar do you feel with the content? Have you worked with network security before? Are you ready to take the next step in learning more about network security? One tool you can use to do this is the SFIA. This is the Skills, Information, and the Information Age. This is the skills framework for the information age. And what you're going to want to do is identify your skills in soft skills and hard skills. So, definitely make sure you understand the difference between hard skills and soft skills, technical skills. So soft skills are those like teamwork, collaboration, how well you work with others, those skills that are interpersonal, not necessarily related to how well you utilize and think about the use of technology. Technical skills are, of course, programming skills, data analysis, skills that require very specific technical knowledge or technical knowledge in general. Now, you want a good blend of these skills. So make sure that when you do an assessment, you learn which skills are, better for you. What skills do you really need to learn to take to the next level? You might be more of a person with technical skills who needs to work on their interpersonal and how to collaborate and work on teams with others. You might be more of a person with interpersonal skills and looking to expand your skill set with technology. So you really want to understand where you fit, what your next steps are, and align that with the career you're seeking. Now, this is something that I talk about on the channel quite a bit, but it's definitely setting SMART goals. So SMART goals are really essential to help you define what your next steps are. SMART goals are smart, measurable, achievable. SMART goals are smart. SMART goals are strategic, measurable. SMART goals are strategic, measurable, actionable. SMART goals are strategic. SMART goals are strategic, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-based goals. So, for example, if you're looking to get into programming and software development, you're going to want to set a goal of within 3 months, I want to learn Python, the basics of Python, or several components of Python, or complete a project in Python. Now, that's a very specific goal. You can measure it within 3 months. You want to make sure, you may not be able to learn all of the ins and outs of the language in its entirety, which is within 3 months, but you're definitely going to be able to learn enough of that language to complete maybe a specific project if you set the goal. If you're not setting goals around what you want to know, then it's going to be much more difficult for you to measure your success. Another potential goal could be around an IT certification, like potentially maybe you want to complete the CompTIA certification within 3 to 4 months. Now that's going to definitely require a lot of study and preparation and training, and also preparation for what's on that test. But you can measure your progress towards that. You can measure whether or not you feel adequate after studying after a certain number of weeks. And then you also feel like you could see if, okay, am I ready to test? And if you're ready to test, taking the test and actually passing the test. So it's a smart goal in that it's strategic. It's something that you want. It's measurable in that you can measure the time it takes to complete the goal. It completes an action that helps you achieve your bigger picture goals. And it's relevant to what you want to do. And it's done within a certain period of time. So really thinking about how you're going to set those is really critically important. And it's the key towards continuous learning with IT. SMART goals are really important to help you measure your learning, find out what's next for you on your learning path, select a goal that's going to work for you in the long run, and keep you moving. Another thing that you're going to want to do is identify resources, online resources that are low cost but high quality. They're going to help you train for your career. Now, this could be Udemy, this could be Coursera, this could be a number of the platforms on LinkedIn, this could be a number of the courses on LinkedIn. You could also choose Pluralsight. Also, Google has a Google for IT certification. So you want to take advantage of these low cost platforms, expand your skill set, keep the flavor of learning alive as you kind of continue to expand your knowledge. Also, utilizing YouTube tutorials to learn a very specific skill or even to get an introduction to a topic can be tremendously beneficial. I'm constantly sharing ideas on this channel around AI, maybe there's a piece of software that you could utilize and begin expanding your skill set, whether it be with a data analysis tool or something that kind of you're able to add to your resume. Definitely want to focus on industry certifications industry supported certifications. This can be any of the cloud platform. This can be any of the Amazon Web Services certifications for learning cloud computing that we spoke about before. This could also be, CompTIA A+ certification, also be the security certification through A+. And, what you want to do is you want to be able to focus and target in on certifications that are going to help support you, aspiring in your career. Now, there's also network certifications there's also a wide range of network certifications from Cisco that are worth checking out that help advance your career. Now, one thing that goes underutilized is personal projects and taking on a personal project in your area. Now, you definitely want to think about personal projects that help display and show your tech skills, but there are things that you want to enjoy and work on, not things that you want to torture yourself with. So you want to make sure, like, if you're choosing personal projects, it's not just because you're choosing them because, you're trying to, understand a very specific skill. Like, yes, you might be interested in it, but at the end of the day, you want to have learning be fun for you, engaging, because you're going to have to keep showing resilience to finish projects. You may want to explore GitHub and look at the repository of projects on GitHub and kind of figure out, what types of projects do you want to work on, very specific programming language projects, could be a web-based project, even a database project. Nowadays, projects are so vast and deep. You want to find something that aligns well to your skill set that you're trying to develop, and something that actually showcases your knowledge and the work you're willing to put in. These can be used in job interviews. These can be used to showcase your skills and can reflect what you've been working on. Consider building your portfolio through hackathons or other collaborative experiences while learning. Building those experiences, also having those social engagements with others and topics that you like, helps build your future network. People who are going to help support you, people you can share and collaborate with and share experiences with as you grow in IT. There are also a wide range of competitions to look into, like data science competitions, online competitions related to cybersecurity. There's a wide range of ways that you can kind of now get engaged with these topics that was never available, even 5 to 10 years ago. Now, this is a huge one. You're going to want to think about how to network strategically. And what I mean by network strategically is you really want to think about what your next step is. So if you're interested in getting either an entry level position or an internship or, any type of position which involves, an entry level opportunity to get experience, you definitely want to have your LinkedIn profile updated, professional picture, completely filled out. And you can connect with like-minded individuals, but also feel free to connect with those who have the skills that you aspire to have and connect with them and ask them questions. There are a lot of people willing to provide knowledge and give feedback on their experiences in the field because they were once where you are now. So I think that's an important step to consider. Finding people who are willing to give back to you the experiences that they've gone through to get to where they are. Some of the opportunities to extend this type of strategic networking is to attend conferences, to do networking groups, to join online meetups and topics that you enjoy related to technology. Keep an eye out for ways to connect with people, to discuss topics that you care about with IT. So now let's talk about some common mistakes that you might make in the process of trying to grow strategically in the IT field. First of all, your resume. One big mistake people make is they have a very generic resume. Just the basics are there, not a lot of descriptions of their skills, not a lot of detailed descriptions of the jobs they've had. The sequence of jobs might seem off. With your resume, here's my recommendation. First of all, include any certification that you've done, any sort of like additional learning or work that you've done towards a very specific targeted area, whether it be a certification, an internship, specific targeted learning. Very important to include. If you've had positions, you want to make sure that you describe these positions in a way that potentially could assist and help with your application towards a tech position, an IT position. So if you've worked somewhere in a retail role or any other role that maybe there was a point of sale technology, maybe there was, you did do some computing or you assisted with a project that related technology, be sure that that is in the resume. Now, also, do be explicit about the skills that you have and how you've used them. Now, one mistake that people make is they list the responsibilities that they had at a job. And that's great, but every job's going to have responsibilities. What makes someone great at a job often is the skills they apply within doing their job. So if you're going to be and also when people are reading your resume, yes, they're reading it to see what you did in other places, but they're also trying to picture you within the role. So you have to think about it is how can I best help others picture me in the role? What do they need to know about me that makes me a really good candidate? And do that as a brainstorm, with that prompt of what do I need to show people to make them feel I'm going to be a good candidate. That's your next step. Have your social branding tight, have your LinkedIn profile reflect all of these same items with updated skills, updated descriptions on your profile. And, don't be afraid to reach out to people and ask specific questions and topics that you're interested in. So when researching jobs, there's also a couple of mistakes people make. Make sure that you do research on the company. Understand the values of the company, the products of the company, the background of the company, and as much as you can around the company culture and climate so that you can get a strong idea of what they value at that company. So that if you do end up getting an opportunity to get into an interview situation, that you can explicitly speak to some of those components so that they recognize that you're walking in knowing a little bit about them, which can be tremendously beneficial to helping you have them see you as the right candidate. Another important step when particularly applying for jobs is that your resume is ATS friendly. And when people say ATS friendly, what they mean is applicant tracking system friendly. And what applicant tracking system friendly means is that it has all the keywords, has the descriptions, it has the components that the applicant tracking system needs in order to recognize your resume as a applicant who is a good fit for the position. So, within the last, 10, 15 years, applicant tracking systems have really developed and grown to be. So you want to make sure that your resume and cover letter are filled with lots of things that they're going to be looking for in terms of the applicant tracking system so that you can be aligned to be getting the call for the interview, the next step. And remember, this is something that I always think about. Your goal should be to get the interview. You're going to grow tremendously from the experience of getting an interview for what you want to do. And just remember, if you can get to the point where you get the interview, get to be able to showcase your skills, talk about what you can bring, that's a victory. After that point, most companies are looking for a certain type of fit or a certain type of person that is going to fit the role. And that's where it gets a little bit more complicated. It's the next stage. It's the next step. So when you're getting interviews, that's great. You need to get to that point where you're starting to get interviews. If you're not getting interviews, you want to start thinking about, what can I do? Am I applying for the wrong types of positions? Why am I being passed over for interviews? So you just want to make sure you're trying to get yourself aligned with getting that opportunity. So now let's talk about some learning mistakes that people make as they kind of progress along the way. So don't get stuck in like tutorial purgatory. So basically, I'm doing this tutorial, so I learn this, to then learn this, to then learn this. I think it's very easy, specifically with learning a programming language or, learning web design or, some of these languages where you might have like something where you might have like a tremendous amount of learning around a topic over a period of time. Tutorials are great and they're going to help you learn, but there's a point in which tutorials are just structured to introduce you to something and then bring you to a certain point. They may lack a real world application. They may lack certain types of skills that would only be inherent from learning on your own outside of a tutorial. Try not to spread yourself too thin. So don't try to do every career path. Maybe if you're unsure of where you want to focus, take a couple weeks to a couple months and focus on cybersecurity and what can you learn and how much do you care about this topic? Is there a lot of resources? I've spoken with students before where I could see them getting excited about a topic and then they kind of get involved with the topic and, they're either struggling with resources around the topic, but often I think sometimes they're losing their passion for it. And the reason why they chose the topic could be something that isn't really aligning with their personal goals as well as maybe they thought of in the beginning. So don't be afraid that if that's starting to happen, to pivot and pick something else, choose something that, just makes you more excited to learn. I think the best learning happens when you're willing to put all of your energy into it. You're willing to take it to the next level and really get engaged with a topic. So that's my review of strategies towards early entry level into IT. So those are my strategies towards getting started with your entry level path into a wide range of IT jobs and careers. This is my first attempt at making a car-based video. I hope you are passionate about the topic that you're interested in studying. I hope that you, think about which paths work for you and why you want to learn it. You do the research into the careers that are available and, feel free to connect with me directly if you have any questions, you feel like I can help, whether it's with personal coaching or courses. Please visit digitalfutureseducation.com. Definitely subscribe to the channel and I appreciate your time checking out the video and definitely keep pushing along and be resilient. It's a lot brighter now within the last 2 days, which is great. So this morning, what I wanted talk about is the top IT certifications that you should be thinking about. There are a wide range of available certifications, quickly evolving, that you should be taking advantage of, but you should also be selective. But you should also be selective of your time, the amount of energy and time you have to be able to focus on these certifications is incredibly important. That time is incredibly important, so you want to take that into account before you start any certification. What's your learning plan look like? Now in this video, I'm going to cover a wide variety of IT domains, but also consider that you can get these certifications working from any area. So if there's an area you want to upskill, you can definitely acquire one of these certifications to be able to get that particular skill. And you also can acquire the skill for IT and thinking about a transition into an IT role. So the first area I want to go into is entry-level certifications. This is the first range of certifications. Talk about CompTIA A+. So CompTIA A+ is an industry-recognized IT certification which covers a broad range of IT concepts, and it's actually going over a little bit of an overhaul right now to include the AI concepts. So in new versions, you're going to have elements of AI. Entry-level IT cert, because it does cover hardware, software. It covers hardware, software, networks. It covers hardware, software, networking, mobile device management, parts of the computer, setting up devices, a broad range of topics. And the format is it's essentially 2 sections, 10 lessons each section in 2 core areas. And it's 2 separate tests that you need to pass both tests in order to complete the certification. And each side is around 90 questions with some performance-based questions. Some of those elements may be changing in the next couple months, but for the most part, it's going to be covering those core areas. The benefit of this certification is that, if you enter into an IT position, you have a broad range of knowledge to start right off the bat, and your vocabulary, basically having a broader range of knowledge across a wide range of IT domains. Also for CompTIA, check out Digital Futures Education YouTube channel, my channel, for resources related to study preparation, assessment questions, coverage of the domain areas related to CompTIA. I have several videos that cover multiple lessons, help you prepare. The next entry-level certification is Microsoft's 365 Certified Fundamentals. What this is going to give you is an overview of Microsoft 365's cloud services, its applications, its services, so that if you move into working into a Microsoft environment, you're going to have an understanding of those services that are available, how people are accessing those services, how those people are accessing those cloud services, and what those types of services can do. This can be everything from Outlook email, all the way up through understanding about what Azure is and how Azure works in a cloud environment. It's a must, especially if you'll be looking to work in office environments or in IT support environments that utilize that software. The next entry-level IT certification is Google's IT support certification. This is the Google IT support. This is the Google IT support professional certification. Google's IT support professional certification. This is a very comprehensive training focused on Google apps and Google services, how to work within the domain, how to support users within a Google domain, utilizing their Google accounts, their Google Cloud services, so that you can best support users within a Google work environment. Now, this is not an extensive domain training, but it gives you the knowledge and background so that if you are moving into an environment in which utilizes Google apps for whatever potential industry, you have the framework, the understanding of how those apps work, how they're on the cloud, and how users interact with their applications. This could be Gmail, this could be Gemini, this could be Google Docs, Drive, and also adding apps and also utilizing Google Apps and managing those resources. Combining this certification with the Microsoft and CompTIA, now you have a full suite of skills that a potential employer or your current employer can now understand that you have a firm understanding of. You can access the Google IT Cloud certification. You can access the Google certification through the Coursera platform. It has been distributed through multiple platforms in the past and has kind of settled into that Coursera platform. So if you're looking for that Google IT cert, that's the place where you can find it. Now let's talk about cloud computing certifications. Cloud computing is a great, amazing topic area to really get some foundational knowledge and background into cloud computing so that your potential employer or your current employer or even yourself can just begin to showcase your skills and knowledge in the area of cloud computing. The first certification is Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services Certified Cloud Solutions Architect Associate. This is an initial cloud services certification that goes deeper than their practitioner certification. The practitioner is a great place to dip your toe in, and this is just taking it to the next level, particularly with your understanding of Amazon Web Services, cloud services, and how they're deployed. The best place to get more information on this is through the Amazon Web Services website, where they will provide, training resources, the ability to sign up for the certification, and resources to help support your understanding of Amazon Web Cloud Services if you currently don't have a strong understanding of that topic. There are also Udemy and LinkedIn Learning certifications and courses related to this topic. And I also encourage you to reach out to a potential mentor or someone that you know who maybe has acquired this certification and ask them for additional information just about their experience while acquiring it. The next one is Google Cloud Services. The next one is Google Professional Cloud Services Architect. The next one is Google Cloud Services Professional Architect. Now, this is Google's version of managing their cloud services. So just like with AWS, Google has its own framework for managing its cloud services on their platform. You definitely want to go to Google Cloud Services training resources to get more information on this certification, what it includes. But essentially, having a balanced portfolio of experiences with Google Cloud and AWS can greatly benefit your resume. The next certification is the Microsoft Certified Azure Administrator Associate. This certification is going to provide you with a backbone in how to deploy, manage, oversee, and maintain Azure solutions. You're going to want to go to the Microsoft Learn for Azure website. Next level of certifications I want to talk about is cybersecurity certifications. The first one is the CISSP. This is the Certified Information System Security Certification. Certified Information Systems Security Professional Certification. This is considered an advanced cybersecurity certification. This is considered a more advanced cybersecurity certification. What you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to access the ISC2 official resources for this certification and utilize cybersecurity news and resources to help you work with completing this certification. The next certification is the CompTIA. The next certification is the CompTIA Security Plus certification. This is an entry-level cybersecurity certification, and it follows after, in sequence, the CompTIA A Plus certification, which we discussed previous. The best way to learn more about this certification is to access the resources related to CompTIA and see how their programming sequences work. But the Security Plus certification is going to have a much deeper look at security factors on a network, security factors on devices, and take the CompTIA A+ learning to the next level in terms of cybersecurity and considering what is necessary in the next level environment when you're trying to understand cybersecurity concepts on an IT working environment. And just like CompTIA A+, it's going to give you a strong overview across a wide level of cybersecurity domains. So it's your opportunity to kind of tier into those specific concepts, particularly after maybe you've done an entry-level IT cert. The next one is Certified Ethical Hacker, CEH. This is a certification that obviously deals with ethical hacking, but also penetration testing. For more information on this, you're going to want to counsel the for more information on this, you're going to want to go to the EC Council website. Having a nice background in ethical hacking and what penetration testing is and how to perform it well is going to be a strong skill set for getting into the entry-level parts of cybersecurity. Also, you're going to be developing not only your vocabulary and your understanding of what's involved with cybersecurity hands-on skills, you're going to be continuing to develop and implement very targeted types of tools and activities related to working within the cybersecurity field. Next area I want to talk about is networking certifications. The first one is the Cisco Certified Network Associate certification. With this certification, you're going to get an overview of networking concepts, fundamentals, and an overview of Cisco products and how they're utilized within a network environment. You're going to want to reference the Cisco. You're going to want to reference the Cisco Learning Network for additional resources related to this certification. And this is also a cost-effective solution for those looking just to get started with a networking certification who may not have any networking certifications in their background. The next networking certification I want to discuss is the CompTIA A+. The next networking certification I want to discuss is the CompTIA Networking Plus certification. One of the benefits of this certification is it's a vendor-neutral networking certification. Sometimes with networking certifications, they can lean particularly towards a particular vendor who wants you to become more familiar with their platforms. With CompTIA, they are a third-party source, but they are neutral when it comes to information regarding network information, types of products to use on a network. To get more information on this one, you're going to want to refer to the CompTIA website again, but it's a great way that if you need a networking certification, you don't want it to be leaning towards any particular networking product, you can rely on CompTIA to be neutral in that area. And this can help if you're applying for jobs and the certifications that you have don't seem to maybe match with the infrastructure that you might think is in that environment. The next one is the Juniper Networks Certified Associate certification. And this certification covers Juniper Networks platform and how it's utilized on a network. And they have a Juniper learning portal, which can provide additional resources related to their particular certification. Next area of certification I want to discuss is Linux and open source certifications. The first one is Linux Essentials. Linux Essentials is going to give you a basic overview. Linux Essentials is going to give you a basic overview of Linux concepts. The resources you're going to want to lean on here are resources from the Linux Professional Institute, NDG Linux, and the NDG Linux Essentials course. All right, so let's talk about Linux and open source certifications. The first certification is Linux Essentials. So Linux certifications are going to help you. Linux certifications are going to help you have the right skills for entry-level server administration tasks, knowing how to program in the command line with open source coding skills, with Linux and other potentially open source and commercial server networks. So it's definitely an opportunity to kind of expand your skills beyond just the very basic essential technology troubleshooting skills into having a skill that you can actually, begin to manage different resources within a network. So Linux, open source skills, a great little add-on to your skill set. So the first resource is the Linux Professional Institute and the NDG Linux Essentials course. It's the Essentials course, and it's going to be an opportunity for you to get some first-hand experience utilizing Linux. Next is the Red Hat certification. Red Hat Linux certification is a 2-course sequence of the Red Hat 124 and the Red Hat 134 course, which walks you through many of the skills to then certify as a Red Hat Linux administrator, through a Red Hat Linux administrator, all right, through their certification exam. Next is the LPIC-1 Linux administrator. Linux administrator. This is a great certification, especially because it's vendor neutral Linux administration certification. So if you're looking to avoid a specific vendor and want to kind of get a basic, certificate to get and you also want a certification that has, relevance in the industry, this is one for you. So you're gonna want to check out the Linux Professional Institute website. Now let's talk about AI and machine learning certifications. And of course, these are incredibly important because they are, basically the newest technology that's out there. Physicians are going to be looking for skills related to AI and machine learning on a range of abilities. Also, how they integrate with existing technologies. Getting a certification in this area is going to show that you're a progressive thinker, and you're also thinking about how this technology impacts other technologies and also the workplace. The first one to think of is the AWS Machine Learning Specialty. The Machine Learning Specialty certification is going to give you a background in implementing machine learning into AWS environments. So if you've been working with AWS and getting a good understanding of their environments, this is a great piggyback certification. It's going to help you advance your skills with machine learning. The next certification is the Google Professional Machine Learning Engineer. So just as some of the other certifications on the Google Cloud platform, this is going to show you how to implement machine learning onto the Google Cloud platform. And it's going to introduce you to also some of the trainings that are available through Google Cloud. The Microsoft Certified Azure AI Engineer certification is going to provide you with an overview of how to implement machine learning and AI on the Azure platform. And Microsoft also has additional AI learning paths that you can consider following in order to enhance your learning in this area. So that's quite the list of certification to help advance you in your career, whether you're looking for an entry-level certification such as the CompTIA or the Google IT Support Professional, or looking into data specialties, network specialties such as Cisco, or you're looking to advance your learning related to AI and machine learning. There's a lot of opportunities out there. And don't forget about cybersecurity. Tremendous amount of opportunities, tremendous amount of chances to upskill and learn, and show employers and yourself that you're willing to take it to the next level in order to advance your career. So I advise you to check out these websites, see which certifications might be right for you, and get a chance to and when you get a chance, click subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. And also check out digitalfutureseducation.com. If I can support you with resources, online courses, please let me know. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and I appreciate you checking out. I appreciate you coming for the ride with me. Good morning. Good morning. Today I want to talk about productivity with technology tools and AI tools. And it's going to be in the areas of education and career. Those are two areas that I like to focus on, and I'm going to give you a great list of some tools that are going to help you be more productive, also help you be more effective with AI for both education and also in your career. Both education and in your career. Hopefully the lighting's a little bit better than my first video in the car. It's a little bit brighter this morning as no rain. Kick it off. There are a tremendous amount of tools out there, a lot worth trying and experimenting with. Here's some of the ones that I've experimented with, I've utilized. I think that they have a lot of value, for a wide range of purposes. Tools that I think you can use efficiently and effectively from anywhere. If you want to do a quick task or something more involved, these are going to be some great tools that are easy to implement if you're on the go, on a super busy day, and you just want to implement something that's easy to use. The first tools is Zapier. Now, Zapier's been around a while. It's been known for automating tasks. It's kind of like an if-then tool, which also is an example of a task automation tool. But Zapier's definitely expanded its resources to have some resources that are built within Zapier and help not only when you automate a task, but also as a creative tool. The main use of Zapier is to create automations. Now, automations are tremendously powerful. Say you want to have a form that loads a Google spreadsheet with data, sorts data a specific way when it gets to the spreadsheet, and even shows up in a different database. You can connect tools like Slack, Gmail, to Slack, Google Sheets, and then back again. And build your own integrations, learn how to create a workflow. You have a tremendous amount of options for free with Zapier, and the integrations are actually pretty easy to build. I made an Airtable database I linked an Airtable database to a Zapier that I could get notifications of when I updated that database, changes, email notifications, anything that you can think of. And it integrates with such a wide range of tools. It's really super helpful. It's going to help you save time, whether it's linking a database to have a notification of the database when something's updated. You can build dashboards. You can build help desk interfaces, login interfaces that require passwords. It's continuing to build its own back end all the time. So if it doesn't have a tool that you can sync with, it might have the tool within the platform itself. Ultimately, it's a tool that's going to help you automate tasks between existing applications. They call it building a Zap. You might be familiar with the tool Trello or the tool Slack. Slack is an amazing communication tool. It sends messages around groups and teams, helps them communicate really effectively. Teams also use platforms like Trello, where they might build a Trello card that has a lot of information about a particular topic. Well, you can build Zaps that when that Trello card is updated, the team gets a notification. Essentially, that's a potential example of how you would utilize Zap from Zapier with Trello and with. Next tool I want to discuss is N8N. The tool for building much more complex automated tasks. Open source platform, so it has a little bit more flexibility for building tasks out. Definitely for the more advanced user, a step beyond utilizing Zapier. 8N, the letter N, number 8, letter N. An example use case of this is an IT team which has applications they want to have interface with the same API. N8N helps you handle multiple APIs, also multiple connections to cloud services. So definitely something worth checking out. N8N. Talk about tools for learning and upskilling. Of course, that's super important. First set of tools is all about automation. Now we're going to talk about learning and upskilling. It's a tool that I've been using a lot this year, especially recently, Notebook LM. Now, this is a tool that's not for use for students if you're an educator watching, but it is a very powerful tool for anyone else, essentially. Notebook LM is a Google product of their core services that allows you to basically have a chatbot that utilizes questions, but you are also able to integrate sources, links, other text, site links, PDFs, other files and documentation linked with the topic that you're creating the prompts for. So the cool part about Notebook LM is it helps you build out chat responses from their language model that like a regular chat bot, but it's drawing upon not only the chat, but it's also drawing upon extracting information from the resources that you've added. So for example, let's say you were doing a project around JavaScript, or you wanted to learn some more advanced JavaScript. You may find a JavaScript PDF, you might find 3 or 4 websites about advanced JavaScript, and you would add those as the resources to your notebook within Notebook LM, and then you would generate prompts on what you wanted to know, and it then produced results that also was pulling from those resources that you added. So it's a great way of having a very integrated kind of process for utilizing AI. Another cool benefit of it is as it generates the prompts, as you generate prompts and you get information out of the chat, it's also going to cite the sources for you within the chat so that you're going to understand which sources it used when it was generating the content, which can make it very beneficial if you want to find more around that topic or if you need to cite it while you're rewriting it for your own personal purposes. Another cool piece of it is the element of it also has an automated FAQ and assessment maker. So, I really actually like using the FAQ, get more information around a topic or resources related to a topic. I think that's a helpful tool. Like sometimes it's just good to see an FAQ list of questions about a topic. So it has some automated tools that teachers can use around generating a multiple choice question or a brief introduction of the resources that have been added without even actually generating any prompts. Mucho, baby. So at the end of the day, it does simplify a lot of process related to research or even lesson planning if you're an educator. Additionally, you could upload your own lecture notes, your own documents, and have it generate new documents from what you've already created to regenerate new types of content based on your own content. Cool tool is TryHackMe. Now this is a cybersecurity tool. Those who want to enhance their knowledge and skills around cybersecurity. TryHackMe. So the name of the tool is TryHackMe. TryHackMe is really cool because it's an interactive website resource that helps you improve your skills around cybersecurity knowledge through interactive activities. So if you're an introductory student to cybersecurity, or you're just looking for some engaging activities to help, improve, your responses around cybersecurity activities or challenges, TryHackMe is a good place to check out. So TryHackMe is a great example of something just very practical that can enhance your experience and just make learning cybersecurity a little bit more practical and easy to apply in your day-to-day life. Now, if you're an educator, you can also use TryHackMe to help create interactive scenarios for your students to experience. Group tools are for collaboration. So one of my favorite tools, Otter AI. Primary use of Otter AI is to transcribe meetings in real time. So basically, maybe you're in a Google Meet or a Zoom, you can add the Otter AI to actually, as an extension, add on to the meeting, and it will record the meeting and then provide images, take pictures during the meeting. It will also provide a transcription of the meeting and also a summary of the main points at the end of the meeting. Features really cool. It's beneficial. You do a meeting, you don't really have to think about taking notes as interactively because you're going to have them. So one thing to think about is always be sure to ask permission of those you're going to have the meeting that you're recording, and let them know what the Otter is. That's a really cool use case. Now, another cool use case is also the app. So I utilize the app all the time as my own personal translation tool or transcription tool. So the app allows for 300 minutes per month. And so at the end of the day or during the day, if I'm looking to take notes, I'll speak into my Otter AI and get some notes created. But just after doing some speaking, I can then take those notes and I can apply them in different ways, maybe generate questions using other AI around next steps. But at the end of the day, I can kind of summarize a day or a meeting quickly, effectively, quickly by just going to the app. And the great part is they give you 300 minutes per month. So you work 5-10 minutes at the end of the day. I utilize Otter AI for that all the time. Also, an underutilized feature for Otter AI is, say you have some audio, it'll actually let you upload audio and it will transcribe the audio for you. They do have a limit on that. It gives you text of audio. So say you have a video and you want to have a transcription of that video, it will do it for you. Ultimately, it's a time saver. It helps you be more efficient, more effective, more streamlined. Like I need to look at my Otter notes today and just kind of do a recap of the ones I've taken. Cool tool. I use it for a wide variety of purposes. And even at the end of the day, if you don't do anything other than utilize the summaries it creates, that's a great use case. So it does create summaries after every meeting you use it for. This tool is Miro. It's a collaborative whiteboard. Now this is a tool that I just utilized recently. I have found that it's a little bit more interactive and a little easier to use than it's ever been. Miro helps you create processes and workflows on an interactive whiteboard. It has a great set of templates available to help you get started. So say you have a visual idea, you can probably find a template that kind of works for you. Miro lets you kind of visualize ideas and processes utilizing different flow charts, interactive interface, and you can share the flow charts with others on your team and let them update it as well. Kind of a cool feature. You can definitely do brainstorming remotely with people in different locations. Makes great interactive visuals. Students will like it. Your coworkers will like it. They'll find it engaging. Definitely, it's a very cool tool. Great design tool for career seekers who want to have an engaging graphic for maybe their personal portfolio, or a teacher who wants to get students to collaborate virtually in real time and have a really cool graphic. Example is you could teach a process or a specific concept related to programming visually, and then share that, or ask students to create how they want to represent that concept visually. Here I'm going to focus in now is coding and development. This tool is GitHub Copilot. This is a very cool tool. GitHub Copilot is an AI-powered tool that helps people complete AI-powered code completion tool, but it can help developers write code faster. So definitely a tool that if you're a developer or programmer, you're going to want to check out, not only for the benefits it might bring to your own work, but just be ahead of the technology related to programming and how AI has been integrated into it. Help reduce errors. It also speeds up processes related to programming, helping create solutions to common programming errors and bugs. Ultimately, it can help speed up development cycles. It can help speed up the development cycle. If you're working on a deadline, or maybe you're developing a programming or coding lesson, you can then have completion of specific programming sequences or sample code generated that can help teach the concept or help solve a problem in your workplace. Next tool is Node-RED. Now this is an IoT, Internet of Things, automation tool. Node-RED is a visual tool that helps improve processes. It can simplify very complex sequences, Internet of Things sequences. You can do it, and you can do it without extensive coding knowledge. This area is presentation and content creation. The tool is Synthesia. It is an AI voice automation tool. Synthesia will take and generate AI-generated video with avatars speaking the text that you input. So it's basically taking your written text or text you've created anyway, you import it and bring it into Synthesia, and what it gives you the ability to do is then create an avatar who speaks the text and actually presents the content. What it can help you do is create engaging content efficiently without having your own self in the video, or needing advanced editing skills. There's a bonus tool for time tracking called Time Sentry. This is an AI-powered time tracking tool. It allows you to automatically track your time in billable hours. People, for educators, those who maybe want to be tracking their time for an outside project. It helps you incorporate multiple projects into your workflow and track them efficiently. Also allows you to set up reminders. Sentry also helps you set up reminders so that you can understand how long you've been working on something, or if you want a reminder to know when to slow down working on something and maybe take a break or move on to a different project. It's a wide list of tools from a wide variety of areas, both career, education. They're all very powerful. A lot of them utilize AI. A lot of them use the Internet of Things. A lot of them, sync devices. So be sure with data privacy, be sure with the ethics of AI that you're utilizing these tools effectively and efficiently. But I guarantee you can utilize one of these tools to help improve your workflows. So thanks for watching the video. Please visit digitalfutureseducation.com and please subscribe to the channel. Great content. I appreciate you taking the ride with me today, and see you soon. This video is all about the real reasons online learners quit and how I help them stay on track. So let's talk about something that's a little uncomfortable in terms of motivation, but it happens. The fact is that most people who start an online course never finish it. And I get it. I've been an online learner, and I've also been the instructor, and I've been that online learner who's abandoned a course before. But I'm going to speak to you a little bit from the perspective of a professor, coach, and someone instructing hundreds of people to be successful at an online course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the real reasons why people quit and how we can help get them back on track. And I'm speaking especially to those who are looking to do tech careers and tech certifications, and those who are changing careers and upskilling. So if you've ever signed up for a course and then ghosted, this video is for you. So the first reason is lack of structure. Some courses lack structure or enough structure for the learners they're targeting. A lot of courses are self-paced now. The idea of a self-paced course is great until you realize you need to have your own level of accountability. So you need to realize you need your own accountability, and you can function with your own deadlines, because there are no deadlines in a lot of self-paced courses. So sometimes when there's no deadlines, no accountability, often there's no progress. And if you're juggling work, family, any other obligations, it's only going to make it harder. And if you're trying to squeeze everything in, time disappears very quickly. So what do I do differently? I give my students structure. It's an important part of online learning and any type of learning in general. Even in my self-paced courses, I give my students goal-setting checklists, progress trackers, and real-world timelines that can actually work for learners. And also, you need courses that are either immediately applicable to your work or to your other studies. I also teach using a very simple method called a 2-hour learning week. I'll go over this in another video, but it's a great method to help streamline these processes. At the end of the day, having a structure equals having freedom, understanding your progress and your goals. Number 2, information overload. The second big reason people quit is information overload. They start taking a new course, they start looking through the materials, maybe they haven't taken a course in a while, and they really need to learn to be patient with themselves. But it's very easy to enter information overload and start to feel overwhelmed by either the expectations of the learning or thinking about how they're going to improve their learning and understand all this content in a very efficient and effective way. We live in a world where you can take 50 courses, watch 1,000 tutorials, and sometimes feel like you're still not making any progress. People try to study everything at once, the back part of the course, and then they freeze, and they're instantly overwhelmed, which affects their motivation. So how motivated you are, you may not have someone cheering you on. And when you get stuck, you're gonna lose motivation. And when you get it right, you might not even be able to showcase what you know. I make sure my students get feedback, whether it's progress-based feedback, specific motivation towards their next step feedback. It can be a quick note, a quick message. The feeling of feeling connected with them in a quick way really can help keep them motivated, keep them engaged, and also at the end of the day, build valuable relationships, because that's what makes things successful. At Digital Futures Education, focus on student-centered learning, real coaching, real support, real feedback, and also honest check-ins, and making sure no one falls through the cracks. Reason number 4, imposter syndrome and self-doubt. This one's incredibly real. Self-doubt. This is especially true in tech careers and tech learning. You may start learning IP addresses, file sharing, AI tools. Suddenly you're like, who do I think I am? I've watched brilliant students talk themselves out of success and progress, and they felt behind when they didn't need to. What I do is I build confidence early. We start with early wins, early successes, small projects, small challenges. We work together. We work to understand a few concepts really well. And I always remind students that nobody was born knowing this information. You're building a skill set and you're building a mindset. And that's the real difference. And the mindset is that you keep going. Reason number 5, life happens. Family, emergencies, burnout, that's all normal. You can fall behind very easily with your goals. Sometimes people feel shame, and that's what makes them quit. They lose passion because they feel shame, or they don't feel like they're progressing because of other obligations. So what's my approach? I design all my programs with flexibility and forgiveness built in. If you miss a week, that's cool. Let's reset. You're not behind. You're on your timeline. I help students build re-entry points and build their timeline and recognize it. Answering questions like, what's the easiest next step? That small moment of clarity can help make all the difference. All of this is part of my Digital Futures Education coaching model. I don't just give you a syllabus and say good luck. We walk through the 5 key phases. Number 1 is goal setting. Number two is research and finding your path. Number 3 is skill building. 4 is personal branding. 5 is opportunity and growth. It's designed to help people move from stuck to confident with support at every stage. So if you're stuck right now, halfway through a course, out feeling like you're falling behind, or unsure of just what to do next, you're not alone and it's not too late. Drop a comment and let me know why you may be struggling. Definitely hit subscribe and check out my other videos. I'm going to help keep you motivated, introduce you to new topics. Check out my videos on learning smarter, not harder, building tech skills, and taking control of your career path. And if you want my free online learning restart guide, the link is in the description. Let's get back on track together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Good morning. Welcome to Digital Futures Education. Today I want to go over some important updates being made to the CompTIA A+ exam. So these are important updates if you either just started studying or you just finished a program preparing you for the exam. I'm going to go over some of the important updates that you need to consider as things roll forward, and CompTIA makes changes going into spring 2025. So CompTIA is rolling out 2 new exams this spring of 2025. So let's go over the timeline and what that means for you. The 2 new exams, 2020-1201 and 2020-1202, are what's going to officially launch this spring. There's going to be a 6-month overlap between the old exams and the new exams. In this 6-month overlap, the current 220-1101 and 220-1102 and the new exams are going to be available. But by late 2024, they are going to retire the old exams. So what this means is that if you're already studying and preparing to take the older exams, a bigger focus on USB-C, IPv6, and a bigger focus on mobile device management. And remember, that's shortened to be MDM. The topic of legacy technologies like VGA is going to be much more reduced. And the topic of multi-cloud environments is getting more attention. That is, as businesses are focusing more on those types of environments. Now let's focus on what's changing in Core 2. We're going to see new updates around operating systems and security. You're going to see Windows 11 front and center as a core component of the Core 2 and focused on as the primary operating system. They are also expanding topics related to security and cloud security. Be ready to be introduced to zero trust architecture, QR code phishing, and even supply chain attacks. And you're also going to see the introduction of AI concepts such as AI bias and AI accuracy, as well as a discussion around AI ethics, which are all great new additions to the Core 2 and an essential part of today's modern tech landscape. These are going to be included in the operational procedures area of the Core 2. So what's this going to mean for you as you prepare for the exam? If you're already deep into the first version if you're already deep into studying for the most recent version of the exam, stay at it. Schedule those tests and also schedule a window where you think you can do a retake if necessary. If you've just started studying or think you need more time, you may want to consider reviewing these additional new topics as you prepare, especially if some of the concepts are ones that you need to become familiar with and want to have as part of your current framework of technology. So stay here on Digital Futures Education. I'll continue to make updates around CompTIA and the changes to that program, and also discuss how these valuable technologies that are part of that exam and certification impact us on a daily basis and also impact the workforce. You'll see some videos as we go forward of me reviewing lessons, content, practice questions. Things will help support you as you develop those essential skills with CompTIA A+. So thank you for joining me today on the morning drive. Please visit digitalfutureseducation.com and please subscribe to the channel to get updates, check out study materials, learn about new technologies. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.